Today on Suncoast View, evacuating for Irma and then lying about it cost a Suncoast University leader her job. We'll talk about the challenges of sticking out a storm for work.
A Suncoast travel group weathered Irma as a Category 5 storm in the Caribbean. We'll hear about their terrifying story in St. Martin.
And Suncoast musicians are coming together for a day of fun and fundraising for Florida hurricane victims. We'll have a preview. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to our good friend Tracy Freeman from Edible Magazine. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
It's great to have
Happy
you.
Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Is that right?
It's right. It is Tuesday, and we're calling it Happy kind of get back in the groove week because the traffic's been increasing. We decided people were going back to the gym, back to the hairdresser, back to the grocery, trying to get things back to normal. But Tracy, as my social media sleuthing shows me, you were eating pretty well during the storm with the power out, my friend.
Yes, I was.
Must be nice.
I had a nice home delivery of shrimp and grits.
And you were frying up on the grill.
Oh, there's my bacon.
I know. This is, I mean, makes sense, right? Fire up the gas grill and do some cooking.
That was breakfast, yeah.
Must
Cast iron on the grill.
But you couldn't keep those shrimp very long.
No, the shrimp were gone.
No. A restaurant delivery of shrimp and grits is
hilarious,
always
you guys.
How
nice.
did
But
that
no,
happen?
The shrimp,
Who's delivering in a storm?
a friend with power.
Oh,
well, she's friends with all the top chefs in town.
It's good to be edible, and thank you, Joel Parisi, for the shrimp.
It is good to be edible, and I was very impressed by your ingeniousness. Not that it was all that creative, but that was some good food you had going there. So I thought, well, I figure you probably were trying to use up the meat in the freezer because
No, she was just eating.
I was hungry.
Yeah, there you go.
well, the day before the storm, my husband grilled every piece of meat we owned in the house, which proved to be smart because we needed to eat off it for the next several days. But he did it so we didn't lose all the money, obviously, if the fridge defrosted.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
I
while
had
you guys
tons of
feast,
stuff.
I starved at the EOC. I'm happy to know that, the wealth was spread.
That's right. Don't worry, we ate for you. All right, well, we're going to see who is in the kitchen today. We are glad to see that Jeremy from JDub's Weather the Storm and that is here with us. What are we making today?
All right, so obviously, I'm a beer guy, but we're doing something a little different, right? Because we don't always want beer. Other people, not me, I do. But so if we want to make something different, what we did at JDub's was sort of did our own play on a drink that's called a French 75. So basically what we did was we swapped out one of the main ingredients, which is champagne, and we're using our passion wheat instead. So if you'd like me to, I can make one up for you.
I would love that.
Okay, awesome.
That's
So
fine.
just a couple simple ingredients, right? So we got a
Don't
little
ask
shaker
me
can.
twice.
All right, we're going to get going and come back to all the
Okay.
ingredients. So we'll learn as we go along because we might get
Got it.
too excited and never get to the rest of the
And
show.
we each
That's-
like one. So
Right.
So not just one.
You shouldn't have got them started. The orders are flying in. So, all right, well, beer cocktails are actually very trendy. So we look forward to learning about JDub's mix of that, and glad Jeremy is with us. And also, JDub's is sponsoring and hosting a major hurricane benefit coming up this weekend. So we can't wait to talk more about that. It is a lot of fun. You're going to want to keep your Sunday free. Speaking of hurricanes, I hate to even mention it, but our thoughts and prayers are with the Caribbean once again with Hurricane Maria out there. Good news in that it looks like it will be turning north. I know you've heard this before, away from Florida and the U.S. This is an image from earlier today. This is another massive, massive Category 5 storm. Puerto Rico is very much in danger of a direct hit on Wednesday. Not to play meteorologist on you, but actually, but I will, and I am one. Hurricane Jose, which is causing a lot of rough surf up in New England, that is the storm we have to thank for keeping Maria away from us.
Oh, that's good.
The way Jose's currents are steering, it will steer Maria parallel to the East Coast to avoid U.S. landfall. At least that's the way it looks as of now. So some good news comes out of
very grateful.
Jose
Let's just hope
to
for
keep Maria away. But obviously, I know we have lots of friends and family in the Caribbean, and it's just been a tough couple weeks.
hard
Any
for them.
update about Lee?
Lee went away.
Okay.
That's what I can update about Lee.
Okay,
Kind of
Lee.
spinning
Thank you,
around
Lee.
and went, yeah.
I think it's really funny that both of you are meteorologists. And I did the weather for 15 years in 3 states, and I am not a meteorologist.
I haven't looked on a map in a while, though.
And I'm still obsessed. So I study them all the time, but that's okay. So something fun to talk about. Something not so fun happening up the road on I-275. Our first hot topic involves St. Pete, where the leader of USF St. Pete is out of a job. She evacuated to Atlanta during Hurricane Irma, leaving thousands of students to fend for themselves. Even worse, the school says Regional Chancellor Sophia Wisniewski even sent an email to her boss saying she was on campus. It was quiet and that she heard the birds chirping. Wisniewski is defending herself. She said she had pushed for early evacuations for the vulnerable waterfront campus, but she was shut down. She also claimed she did not leave town until the campus was secured and the dorms were locked. Her boss says she was not an effective leader if she left.
And she lied.
Lying is obviously a problem, but I did think it brought up an interesting concept. What do you think about being asked to stay and weather a storm for work?
For me,
With
you know,
the
that's
danger.
what we had to do.
Yeah.
But that's also part of our job, so we already knew. But at the same time, I'm torn by her. One, if she really lied and said she was where she was, you know, was not, then that's an issue for me. But you can't not evacuate the campus and then expect other people to put their lives in danger. She talked to her bosses above her and said, hey, we need evacuation, and if they chose not to, then at that point, what do they expect her to do? You can't just say stay there.
Oh, I don't know. I think you can.
I think you can.
Yep.
And it happens to so many people. I mean, people in nursing homes, people in schools, people, a lot of places, they did not expect to have this responsibility. And that's the kind of person you are when responsibility is shoved at you that you didn't expect. Do you help other people or help yourself?
But not everyone wants to take that on.
Then get another job.
Then you can't be the leader. Then you can't be the leader.
But that's not her job title. Her job title isn't to weather the storm and be a first responder. And then she told these people to evacuate. So at what point do you say, okay, well, I told you guys this is a danger. You guys chose not to heed this warning. Now I am going to have to take the brunt of it? I don't think
The
that's
students
safe.
were in her charge. She was responsible for those students.
And the campus is in her
Well, if
charge.
that
The
case-
buildings, all of it.
Well,
She's the boss.
If that's the case, they should allowed her to evacuate the campus when she wanted to.
And I think that's her argument.
And that's the point. You can't say don't evacuate, but I want you to stay here.
I think you can. I think we have to take that responsibility. Life's not always easy. You don't always get to think about me. Sometimes you got to think about the other
But
people
someone
first.
is putting you in that position. That's the problem.
But they're paying you a lot of money to be there.
If it was just up to her, then I could understand, okay, well, you know, you had a responsibility. You chose not to evacuate the kids, but it wasn't just up to her.
I
It
think
was
this
up to
happened
her
more
management.
than we realized it during the storm.
Yeah.
I think there were a lot of companies that asked workers to be responsible for things that, as you pointed out, maybe that wasn't something
didn't
you
sign up
realized
for.
And
you were going to be. I mean, we all
So
know
you-
when we do this, we're part of storm
Yeah,
coverage.
but you shouldn't be held accountable for saying no and thinking of your safety.
And I kind of disagree.
I do too.
A company cannot tell you to put your life in danger because the company is not going to pay you once you die. The company is not going to give you compensation. You have to put your life and your best interest first.
Then they may tell you they're going to find someone else to do
Right.
the job.
And
I think
that's
you just need
fine.
a different job.
Well, possibly. I mean, when,
It's an interesting point.
When we take on that responsibility, we know what we're going through. We agreed to it.
Absolutely.
We signed up for it. But someone else that doesn't sign up for it shouldn't be held accountable for that.
And I think it does need to be laid out clearly. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's essential employees are required to stay, and let those be determined by,
Let people
you know,
volunteer. Some
Because
people like it.
It happens up north all the time. There are blizzards all the time. In Atlanta, there are ice storms, and people have to make these decisions that they will stay and protect property or lives.
Nope, I agree. Well, it's interesting, and I bet it's not
Yeah.
the only case out there, but it's
I'm
certainly
sure a lot
one
of
that
people will be losing their jobs.
made headlines. Well, if you can't seem to get rid of your stress and anxiety, maybe the answer is to write it out. A study from Michigan State says that just 5 minutes of expressive writing can help. Worrying keeps our brains from being efficient. So writing down the things that cause stress or anxiety actually frees up more of our brain to complete daily tasks. Anyone ever tried journaling to reduce stress?
I heard this is a good thing.
Yeah,
Except that where do you hide it? Because other people are going to read what you just wrote down. Especially 5 years from now, you may be really sorry. I told you recently, I said to my sister, I read my daughter's diary, and she said, that's funny, I read yours. And I've been thinking ever since, oh, what did I say?
But don't you think as a teenager that might have helped? Because I kept a diary as a teenager too, and I wrote all sorts of things when I was mad at
So
my
did
mom,
I.
when I hated somebody, all that stuff.
I think think it's a good coping mechanism, but I'm with Linda. I don't want write
I
anything
know.
down that I don't
Yeah.
want.
We don't like paper trails anymore, but it might help us. I
keeping
mean,
it secret.
maybe
I'm
you
sure
write
would
it and burn
help.
it. Maybe
Yes,
you write
yes,
it and burn
I'm
it.
for that, yes.
Just to get it off your chest.
That's maybe a good
Shredder.
idea.
Have your own shredder.
Right and shred.
Someone's gonna put it together. Like, okay, that piece goes here.
We're probably not that interesting. Remember those late night runs for the border, you know, the 3 a.m. Taco Bell munchies? Tell me I'm not alone with this. Well, now you won't have to stop drinking when you go to some Taco Bells. The chain is announcing they're adding alcohol at 350 locations and scrapping the drive-thrus. Not just beer and wine, liquor. Taco Bell wants to open more urban cantina-style restaurants in the downtowns of major cities. They're trying to approve to millennials that are moving to these downtown areas. They've already tried it in Chicago, San Francisco, Cleveland, and Vegas, and apparently it works. You know, this sounds very dangerous to me because we used to go to Taco Bell to sober up.
Yeah.
Now you get an extra drink.
I'd only go to Taco Bell for the tequila.
Right. What do you have with the Dorito Loco Taco? What goes with that?
Well, I drive through, so I like the drive-through. I don't want to get out and go in.
Yeah.
So they'd have to hand me my tequila through the window.
Which
I
I'm
feel
fairly
like it's
sure is
illegal.
illegal. Yes, I'm thinking you will have to go in for your tequila.
Probably.
Well, studies have shown that over time, couples become more similar to one another in subtle ways. That actually is said to now include taste buds. A European study looked at couples who had been together from a few months to up to 45 years. The longer a couple had been together, the more likely they were to share the same preferences for smell and taste. Researchers say it could just be tied to a shared environment and habits. Has anyone experienced this?
So is it wrong that as you read it, I was like, oh gosh, please no. When you read that, you don't want to share your taste buds. I wouldn't want to share my taste buds or anything with my ex.
Well, you know what? You won't believe this about me. But when my husband was alive, my main thing in life was pleasing him. So if we went out to dinner, I'd say, oh, let's go somewhere because Bud likes that food.
Okay.
To a movie, okay, let's go to that movie because Bud likes that
Such a
movie.
good wife.
But that's also why she doesn't want to remarry now. So let's just put it all under the table.
Exactly. Now I know what I like to eat. I go to see movies I like. But I was trying so hard to please him that I was always choosing what he would like and not what I would like.
Do you think that built resentment over time?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
That's what that laugh meant.
I think that's a good answer, though, because maybe you didn't even think about what you wanted to eat. You were just thinking about what he wanted to eat.
Yes, that's true. It does build some resentment. He's been gone 12 years and I'm still mad.
No. Tracy, do you and your husband like similar foods, or do you think that's just coincidence?
do.
You like everything, though.
I
you,
do.
You have a wide palate, obviously, with what you do for a living.
we have the same palate for sure.
See, but that's the thing. That's the difference between a good marriage and a bad marriage.
So wait a minute, you hate your ex-husband so much you don't even want to share his taste
I don't
buds?
necessarily hate him. Don't say that.
Okay.
Well, this
I
morning
don't
maybe.
hate. I don't hate him. I just feel like I don't necessarily aspire to be similar to him.
Right.
That's
Taste
it.
buds or
Anything.
Well, and I think obviously in a good relationship, anything, you have shared things and different things. I mean, my husband and I like to eat the same type of food, but we don't like everything the same. So.
And if you have very different, maybe that's why the marriage doesn't last.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Could
maybe
be.
you need to be the same.
Maybe you need a good mix. Let's go for a healthy mix. I think it's time to escape this topic. Weddings are, speaking of couples, weddings are a great place to fall in love all over again. An Iowa bride thought it was the perfect time for puppy love. Instead of carrying a bouquet, the bride and her party carried rescue puppies that were up for adoption. The 7-week-olds came from a local shelter. They were available for adoption, and it worked. These photos went viral, and those puppies were immediately adopted. Is that not the cutest thing you
What
have
if the puppy
ever seen?
pees?
That's exactly what my husband said. Why would you risk puppy pee on your wedding?
Yeah.
Well, I would worry. You know, I want an investigation into those families. I mean, it takes a lot to raise a dog. You know, well, you know, Stephanie, you walk that
Oh,
dog.
you just don't want the puppies handed off to the first person
no,
that asks?
I want, because you can fall in love with a puppy and then you don't want to give it
Good
care.
point. Well, the
Here we go.
shelter that gave them the puppies to use for the wedding also coordinated the adoption.
Very
so
good,
let's
very
assume
good.
that the shelter did some
That they
checking.
got good homes.
And I have no solution for the potty
And
problem.
no dresses were harmed in the making of that one.
If the dresses were harmed, it did not make the news story because we were keeping it positive.
They
How
could
about
wear
that?
little diapers.
You guys are tough today. Okay, we're going to check out our happy hour forecast. When we come back, we're going to talk to a doctor about kids and concussions.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather update. It seems Maria has dropped down in wind speed earlier, now back up again, Category 5 status as it makes its way toward the U.S. and British Virgin Islands as well as Puerto Rico right now is a major Category 5 hurricane, and the eye is well defined and looks like it could even get stronger in the next couple of hours as it heads right toward Puerto Rico now. Big storms into Anguilla already, and St. Kitts also getting hammered by this storm. Top winds now at 165 mile an hour, moving to the west-northwest at 10. The pressure extremely low, 920 millibars. It makes its way right into the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and then the eastern portion of Puerto Rico looks like on Wednesday morning, and then continues on into toward the southeast portions of the Bahamas, and then it makes that break off to the north. So it's still looking good for Florida. In fact, the cone has shifted to the right a little bit. We'll have more in the tropics and our local weather coming up at 5. See you then.
Concussion concerns are all over the headlines these days, especially for young athletes, and fears are compounded by a growing body of research tying concussions to permanent brain issues. Dr. Bradley Hopp from Gulf Coast Medical Group is here to tell us what we need to know about concussions. Okay, exactly what is a concussion first, Dr. Hopp?
Well, you know, back in the day, we used to say you just got your bell rung.
Exactly.
And, you know, go ahead, get back into the game and keep playing. But, you know, in a pure sense, what it is that it's a traumatic injury to the brain. That's what a concussion is. Your brain gets hit and shaken to a point where it creates an injury to the brain. It's a traumatic brain injury.
What are some of the symptoms?
Well, symptoms, you know, in a football game, let's say I'm going to use that for an example. I mean, the obvious symptoms is maybe a player gets knocked out on the field. Okay, that's an easy one. But 90% of concussions, you don't get knocked out. You know, you may see a player that gets his bell rung, so to speak, and he comes off the field and he's dizzy. Maybe he has a little blurred vision. Maybe he has a little amnesia. He can't remember the events of the play. So those are the symptoms that we look for initially. Sometimes the symptoms don't occur until later. You might see the next day they might have some difficulty thinking, remembering, maybe some physical findings, headaches, emotional, maybe a little moody, maybe sleeping a little more. Those are some symptoms that we watch for.
Does the person who has the concussion always know?
No, I mean, many times you don't know. Maybe you just think, well, I've got a little bit of a headache, or maybe I'm a little sleepy, maybe I just don't feel quite right. So that's the key right there is identifying who has a concussion. We need to, as doctors, as parents, as coaches and trainers, we need to be able to identify these players to determine, did they have a concussion?
And there's a test for that.
We have a test, it's called IMPACT, and this is a test that's been around for a few years. Experts have developed this test. We give the test in my clinic in Venice. Sarasota County, the Sarasota schools use it, and it's a test that we give the players after they've had a concussion to determine, are they ready to go back to play? It really gives us some objective findings to tell us, okay, the brain is healed, it's recovered, and we can send them back to play without risk of maybe having more long-term problems.
Because there are long-term effects from the concussions, right?
Oh boy, you know, look at the NFL. I mean, they've got this big lawsuit now with the players. I mean, millions and millions of dollars because of the NFL players that have had concussions repeatedly, and now they're developing Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease. So you bet there's some big long-term effects of repeated head injuries and concussions.
My husband played in college, and with the old helmets, they had that, and he had so many sleep issues. Oh. And I saw that on your list. That's one of the things that people would be seeing now.
You bet.
It's so frightening. So treatments, is there anything we can do about this?
Yeah. Well, you know, the two important things, we need to identify who has a concussion, take them out of the game. Okay, that's the first thing, and then treatment. And the treatment really is only rest. You know, if we have a broken bone, we can fix a broken bone. Now a concussion, we just have to rest the brain. You know, the brain takes time to heal. It may take a day, it may take a week, it could take a month. You know, our young athletes, we got to protect their brains, and I think the most important thing we can do, take them out of the participation, let the brain rest, give it some time, and then maybe get them back into play, you know, when it's safe.
How do you know when it's safe?
Right.
Like,
Do
for
scans
instance,
show
like
the
what-
brain
Yeah,
rested?
Yeah. X-rays don't show anything. You know, you can ask them, and I have athletes that come right to my office and they tell me, "Hey, doctor, I'm ready to go back. I feel
good."
fine. I feel fine." So we use this impact test. It's a neurocognitive test. It's the only FDA-approved test to really evaluate athletes and people that have had concussions, to help us to determine just how the synapse is working, how is the brain working, so we can tell, okay, the brain has now healed and they're ready to return back to play. So it's a very useful test. Over 7,000 high schools use this test. Over 1,000 colleges and universities are using it. Over 200 professional teams are using this test. And we're using it right here in Sarasota County.
Great.
Our athletes have this test, and so we're keeping them safe.
Oh, that's so good to know. That's so good to know. Because football is a great game. We just need to be safe playing it.
Yes.
And you can get more information on concussions and any other of these injuries. You can find Dr. Hopp online at Gulf Coast Medical Group's website. Next, musicians band together to help hurricane victims.
We were watching ABC 7 News.
We kept getting the information we needed along the way, and it did help us prepare.
When they were showing the eye, I started to realize, okay, we better take some precautions.
We were able to look at the My Suncoast app and get the weather updates.
We stayed informed during the storm.
It makes a big difference having the information that you need in a time of stress.
Bob and John Scalzi, both of them, they're my favorites.
It helped a lot to have you guys reporting for us.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wannabe Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
The corners of a city street, a table and a cafe seat. I've got you everywhere I go. Yo, everywhere, got you everywhere, everywhere I go.
And welcome back. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, many of us have asked, what can we do to help those most affected? For Suncoast area musicians, that answer was easy. 17 local performers will donate their time and talent in a day-long benefit concert for Florida hurricane victims. Here with a preview is singer and Suncoast native Trevor Bystrom. Take it away.
I suck the juices of the sweet living weeds. I tell the stories I don't even complete. I carry on, no time to delay. The the earth feels like it's moving. I begin to stumble. I try to speak, but every word turns to mumble. I am gone. My mind has faded. Now I will roam to depths unknown, so far from home to be alone. I feel the wheels turning, I can't go nowhere. I trip and fall, but there's no one even there. I carry on, my mind starts to fade. I climb the trees till I reach the dark sky. Look in the jungle, give out my dark cry. I am gone, my mind starts to fade. Now I will roam to depths unknown, so far from home to be alone. Now I will roam to depths unknown, so far from home to be alone.
Wow, that was very
Beautiful,
soothing.
beautiful.
All
How
right.
nice. That's great.
So we're joined by your fellow musician, Justin Lehman. You're also one of the organizers for this fundraiser. Tell me how it all came together.
Well, a few weeks ago there was a hurricane in Texas, and I had an idea that, you know, whenever there's something like this going on, the musicians always get together and try to do what they can, because we're musicians and that's what we do. So
You make people feel better.
that's right.
Yes. Well, you
So-
put together quite a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of got a little out of hand.
We love that when
Yeah.
that
We
happens.
like out of hand. Tell us what to
tell us
expect.
about
Yeah,
the
there's
process
going
and
to
what's
be
going to happen.
17 local musicians playing. We have face painting for the kids. There's going to be food trucks. We have raffles, and just any way we can, you know, if you want to just donate money to the Red Cross, that's cool too.
And
So-
I heard each musician will be playing like, what, every 20 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, every 20 or 30
So
minutes.
this is a 10-hour event.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to start at noon, and we're going to end around 11. It might go a little over, but
Hey, we're okay with over.
Sounds great.
All right, well, you guys can get more information about the hurricane benefit. It begins noon Sunday, September 24th at JDub's in Sarasota, and it'll go all day. Now, you can go to that website on the screen to get all of the other details. And thank you so much, Justin. And when we come back, we're actually going to hear from a resident who was in the Caribbean when Irma came through. So they survived that storm in the Caribbean. So it's going to be interesting. But first, Trevor, would you play us out?
all right.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-800-558-8779
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Jeremy from JDub's in the kitchen. And Jeremy, we have to thank you. I know you do a lot of food truck rallies, but last weekend you did a food truck rally where you were feeding people without power. Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, you know, I think it was Tuesday. You know, we knew there were plenty of residents. I think there still might be who don't have power. And this was really the food trucks, to be honest. We just facilitated it. So they came up with this idea. We opened the brewery up, and we each one of these food trucks gave away free food, so to anyone without power. So I couldn't put a number on it, but I'm guessing about 600 plates were given out.
That's great.
On the day. So you know, Mouthhole Barbecue was out there, Mother Truck and Food Truck was out there, Charlie Bagogi was out there with his food truck, and they were fantastic. So it really warmed my heart and was awesome to see, and a real communal vibe. So
all right, well, we appreciate the Suncoast community for doing that for each other, and we're going to talk about what you're doing coming up this Sunday in a little bit.
Well, many of us watched Hurricane Irma tear a path of destruction across the Caribbean before it turned towards Florida. Among the ground zero locations was the island of St. Martin, where Irma's 185 miles per hour winds flattened nearly everything. Now, Suncoast residents Lauren Ann Mayo and Rachel Charette were among them that were on an adventure on the island when Irma came ashore, and they're here to tell us how they survived. Well, you guys, that's crazy. What's going on?
Yes. We're happy to be back.
Well, tell me.
Great. No worse from where?
We had a lot of showers since we returned, since we missed about 5 days.
Oh, so what happened?
Yeah, I want to hear this story. So how did you guys get there? Tell us how, tell us about the travel run and how the company goes.
Okay, so my business partner, Holly Morris, and I host fitness retreats. It's luxury travel, so it's about 5 to 7 days. We go to a nice tropical location, and we bring a celebrity trainer, so we do fitness sessions, and then excursions such as catamaran cruises. We have a private chef, just your luxury vacation, everything you'd want to do with fitness components. So we were on a retreat in St. Martin, living it up, and
wow. So
Irma.
describe what happened when you guys heard the storm was going to hit the island.
Yeah, how did they tell you? How did they prepare you? What do you even do at that point?
We got out there and we heard, we arrived the day before the retreat started. So we got an email just kind of saying, hey, there's a storm, we don't know where it's going, we don't know what's happening. And being from Florida and living in Florida my whole entire life, I kind of was like, well, it could turn north, it could do this, it could do that.
Yeah.
It's in the Atlantic, how are we supposed to know? So nobody wanted to cancel. The guests still all wanted to come. We had someone coming as far away as London, and So we decided, all right, we'll keep the plans in place. We won't cancel anybody's, you know, they've already taken time off work and they're ready to go. They've paid for their flights.
So everyone went.
Everyone went.
And when did it get real?
Yeah.
Because that looks real, what I'm seeing right there.
So you
really
got there
bad.
Friday. When did you notice it?
It started Tuesday. It was when she arrived.
Okay.
And
so
what
you
was
had a
that
couple
like?
days of normally?
Oh yeah, it was great leading up
yes.
to it. I mean, we were doing workouts on the beach and yoga. I think we were actually doing yoga when Holly came out and was like, guys, I don't want to worry you, but you're going to need to try and get flights off the island.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, so we had a list of everybody's flights that they originally had scheduled and started calling the airlines, and there were no flights out.
So you knew you were stuck.
Yeah, how did you guys, you know, what did you do after that? How did you get off?
How do you hunker down?
We had 6 people from the trip manage that morning to get off the island.
Okay.
And just basically, I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but they said, we're getting on a plane, we're out of here. So there were 5 of us left.
Okay.
So we were at this hotel that was actually recommended to us by the yoga instructor, and thank goodness she recommended it, because most of the hotels actually were just, you know, the wind just plowed right through them.
So tell us what happened. You were in a room together. How did you do this bad part?
Yeah.
We had 2 rooms joined by a living room and a kitchen and a big balcony. And so we were there. I remember we were doing a phone interview, and that's when the power went out.
Okay.
And really Irma just sort of came to life because she started in pitch black and we couldn't see anything.
Did you hear it?
We heard it.
Yeah, what did it
And
sound
it
like?
only got louder.
Like
Was the wind blowing?
Yeah,
Could
like
you
what-
feel it?
yeah.
The
Like,
doors were
yes.
vibrating.
The
I mean,
pressure was insane. It was like something was pressing you from all directions and you weren't near anything else around.
Were you terrified?
my.
I mean, weren't you worried you were going to blow out of this hotel room?
It started at first, we were right against the glass because we're like, oh, it's hurricane proof, we're fine, and we're watching. And then all of a sudden, we noticed that water was spraying through the glass. Like the glass was
so
still
within,
there.
I don't know how long it took, but we had about 4 inches of water.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just in front of the sliding glass doors. Our kitchen, the bedrooms, the bathrooms.
So
it
the
went-
room flooded, but there was no hole anywhere. It just seeped through.
It came around the doors.
It started coming through where they lock. So
Wow.
it came through the middle.
All right, so I don't want to
Wow.
run out of time before you
Yes.
tell us how you
Yes,
got out
yes,
of there.
tell us how you, how
Because
you get there.
now there's devastation. What do you do?
We contacted everyone we knew. We were trying to get a hold of news networks and just
Everyone
say,
has a brother who's a
call
pilot,
people.
so we tried to go that route, but they
Yeah.
weren't letting any planes land.
Right, because we all saw the airport
Yeah.
destruction
The
from
airport
St.
was
Martin.
closed.
The airport
So
was
this is
closed.
after the storm. This is after. So
Were
now you
people
realize,
behaving?
yeah, you know, but yeah, do
In
you
our
have, like-
hotel.
Our hotel was
but-
the only one with real order. We were at the Simpson Bay Resort, and every other hotel, they had lost employees. Everybody had just abandoned everything.
What about food? What about all those different things? Like, how did you guys get to the point where you're like, I'm going to get on a plane and, you know, I'm no longer stuck here?
But there was no planes.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Yeah, how did it happen?
Well, essentially, the Dutch military took over the island, and they were there patrolling and keeping order. And then as soon as they cleared military planes to land, the Puerto Rico Air National Guard came and picked us up.
Wow, that's amazing.
Were you ever afraid that you weren't going to get out?
That you were going to die.
Yeah, that you were going to die there, either from somebody
We didn't
violence
know
or...
we were going to make it on the plane. We stood there for hours and hours, and then Jose started coming in, and he just unleashed on us.
So you got wet from Jose again?
We
soaked.
Did you
Rachel and I were
crouched on the
squatting over our
ground.
computers,
Yeah.
trying to like keep them dry, because that's really.
Did you guys ever consider canceling the trip?
Well, I mean, we had that split moment at the beginning where we looked at where the storm was going, and we just
didn't know.
Just like I said, growing up here, I mean, I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. I was in Orlando for Charlie, and Charlie came through, and you know, we had the parking lot was a little
But you flew
flooded.
into Jose.
Wow.
Flew out of Jose.
To us.
You're so lucky. I mean, honestly, that it could have just had
That's
horrific
amazing.
consequences.
Yeah.
So we're so glad.
Yes, we're happy you're back, and we're happy that you guys are all safe. Everyone is safe. All right, if you guys want to learn more about the company Luxfit Adventures Travel, you can go to their website. Thank you guys for coming, and hey, you're happy that you're safe. Next, we're going to talk to some people about Pine, Sarasota, and here to talk about fall prevention. We'll be right back.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights. and tracking this very dangerous storm, Hurricane Irma.
If you've been ordered to evacuate, please go.
We are double teaming it in the Weather Center.
You got to make sure that there's no trees around that could fall on you in the safe room.
Of course, we still are impacted.
People are calling in with all kinds of questions and concerns.
City of Venice is without water.
The power has gone out there.
Hoping you've got a battery-powered radio.
I'm not sure if anyone's shift really ends.
Seeing the community come together and help each other.
You know, we are all in this together here.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what we're working on now for 5 o'clock. The opening of a controversial new business in downtown Bradenton. The rules surrounding the new medical marijuana dispensary. Plus, a Moat Marine Lab research facility in the Florida Keys damaged by Hurricane Irma. We'll look at how the storm is impacting its operations. Now let's get a check on our weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, we continue to watch Maria head toward Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Scott. It actually has gained strength again this afternoon, back to a Category 5 hurricane. It had dropped below that status earlier today, but now winds are at 165 miles an hour with higher gusts heading right toward the islands now. Looks like it's going to make landfall sometime Wednesday morning in Puerto Rico and then move well east of Florida. So things are looking much better on our front, much worse so on Puerto Rico's front. Well, much more in the tropics coming up at 5.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
This is an important medical announcement. Barred IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a barred IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Barred Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the barred IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries for older Americans. But falls do not have to be an inevitable part of aging. Amanda Harrison from the Pines of Sarasota is here to tell us about their Ready Steady program to help keep us safe. Thank you for coming, Amanda. Thank you so much. So why is balance such a big deal as we get older?
Well, obviously, you know, we take our balance and a lot of other things for granted as we age. But really the reason we want to get out there and educate the community is because balance isn't just something that you have. It's something you have to continue to work on. So there are a lot of exercises that you can do, preventative measures, because as you just said, if someone takes a fall, the repercussions could go on forever. Those that fall once are 2 to 3 times more likely to fall again. Those age 65 and older, 1 in 3 will fall every year. So working at Pines of Sarasota and looking at our community, the needs of our community, we always want to fill a need. And we were starting to see a lot of folks coming in from injuries related to a fall. So we started thinking, what can we do to prevent these falls?
Now tell me about your Ready Steady program.
Yes, so that came out of this wanting to fill a need. Basically, I go out into the community and talk to folks about what they can do to help prevent these preventable falls. And the rehabilitation side of it is basically, you know, we take a look at the testing that we'll talk a little bit more about, but we take a look at the testing, the assessment that they've had, and then we do a customized rehab for each individual. So if someone has Parkinson's, we have people that are certified in LSVT training, which is kind of a big and loud type of rehab for those with Parkinson's. We also have vestibular training. We have all these people with diabetes that lose, feeling in their hands, neuropathy. All of our therapists are thoroughly trained in any sort of issue you might be having and related to balance.
So you can find out what that issue is through testing.
Yes.
You have tests for that.
Correct, yes. So the testing and the assessment, that is something that we offer to everyone in the community. It's a free assessment.
Oh.
We just ask you to give us a call, set up for your assessment, and it's a 3-step process. So the first part of it is a questionnaire. It's just we find out, history, your medical conditions, any medications you may be on, things like Parkinson's, because one part of the test is not safe for those with Parkinson's to take. So we find all that out in the beginning. The second step is the timed up and go. So basically people have a seat on a chair, our therapist is there, and they ask you to, okay, ready, set, go. You stand up, walk 10 paces, turn around, come back and sit down. There's an average amount of time that the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, would like you to complete that in. I never tell anybody what that is, so you're not talking in your head about how quickly to do that in. And then if you've passed, I don't want to say passed, but if you're cleared to take the third step of the exam, that is our Biodex machine. You stand up on the machine and it moves ever so slightly to try to test your reaction time. There's a screen in front of you, try to keep the dot right in the middle of the screen, and you take that 3 times, it's a 20-second test, and from all of that, you'll determine if you're a low, medium, or high risk of falling.
And I took that test.
You did?
I took that test, yes. I think we still have video of it.
Well, I know you said that fall is something that usually does go away with aging or becomes a concern with aging. But what if you're younger and you're starting to see signs of instability? Is that something you can test for early, or is there things to kind of see it coming before you get to that point?
Absolutely. Now the test is not, you don't have to be 65 or older to take the test. So if you or someone you know, you're younger and you're starting to feel like there is an issue here, by all means give us a call. We'll be more than happy to do the assessment with you. But some of the things that we like to encourage, even if someone comes in, takes the test at a low risk, Tai Chi is probably the best thing you can do for balance.
Well, you have an event, well, Beth, you may want to go to this. They have an event coming up this weekend. The Pines is inviting the community to a National Falls Day Symposium. It's on this Friday, September 22nd. For more information, you can go to their website. And next, we got a visit from law enforcement, and our viewers had a lot to say about this.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
My youngest, Addie, was 2.5. She was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Okay, so you may remember last week, Sarasota Police having some fun, posting this awesome pic, kind of like a challenge to the Gainesville Hot Cops. Hey, Sarasota, we've got our own. So we've actually been hearing a lot about this. We want to thank them for all the fun. One of our viewers wrote in, my cable's been out for a week, and I missed your segment with the Sarasota Cops. Any chance you'll rerun it? Well, we are happy to relive this experience because it was amazing. So the Sarasota police officers, if you needed the backstory, were out just trying to have some fun getting ready to go out to their shifts during the hurricane, and they posted the picture of themselves. So we invited them to come in so we could thank them personally. Well, here's the funny thing, because so many of you did not have power when we ran this segment last week, now we're getting all these emails saying, hey, I heard you got to meet the hot cops. So some very fun emails to share. Not a bad day at the office. We would certainly agree.
That should have been us, yes.
Yes, because they were as nice as they are nice looking. I want your jobs. You know, we hear that one a lot too, but that was especially true in this day. And here's actually one of my favorites. Any chance they can come back Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. Well, that's because Tracy wrote that email.
That was you.
Do you want the hot cops to come back?
I do. Very disappointed.
So do we. So do we.
So is there a surprise?
No, they weren't available today because they are busy protecting Sarasota.
Yes.
So we can't have visitors every single day.
We'll figure something out, don't worry.
Yes, we will.
We're good looking.
We will continue to express our appreciation to the Sarasota Police Department, first for their sense of humor and, of course, for keeping us safe. So a lot of fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun. And a lot of fun to look at. We'll admit that, too. Remember, you can always find our past segments online. If you do miss any of the fun we have on our show, you'll want to check that out at suncoastview.com. But we do have something extra special for you, Tracy.
What's that?
JDub's in the kitchen. We're going to see Jeremy. Stay with us.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Since 1928, Karastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Karastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5. More reliable Alzheimer's diagnoses. Researchers say a blood test is in the works that could help doctors identify patients more accurately. Now to First Alert traffic. First now, US 41 and 301 are moving a little slow near Fruitville Road in Sarasota, so keep that in mind. Now let's get a check on the forecast with First Alert meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Right now, some showers scattered about, very isolated across the west coast of Florida this afternoon, all kind of drifting off toward the southwest and a northeast wind. You see 1, 2, 3 right there in Sarasota County, a few over northern portions of Manatee County, so expect a brief shower or two through this evening. As far as Maria goes, it's back to Category 5 status, top winds at 165 mile an hour, and it's heading right toward Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. We'll have an update with the latest from the Hurricane Center at 5.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn. on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabein.com.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Coming up Wednesday at 4 on Suncoast View, the calendar says fall is right around the corner, so we're ready to go shopping. We have some fall favorites from St. Armand's Circle, even some tricks and treats to get ready for Halloween. Fun runs are back in season as well. Our fitness expert will preview what's coming up here on the Suncoast. Plus, an orthopedic talks about common women's sports injuries. And Chef Judy has her favorite apple picks in the kitchen.
And welcome back. We're here with Jeremy from JDub's. And what are we making today?
So today we're going to do a little twist on a nice cocktail called a French 75. I'm a little nervous with you with that knife right there.
I'm ready.
You're not my wife, so it's even I feel okay. So this is just our own little JDub's twist on a French 75. So the only thing that we did was we replaced what would be champagne with our passion wheat, which we've all had before here. And it's a very simple thing to do. There's 4 ingredients. One is going to be the lime that you have right there, Linda.
Cut a lime.
So please just cut that thing in half for us.
Okay. Now I'm going to put it in here.
Yep.
And squish it.
Yep, that's right.
Oops.
Maybe not.
I actually haven't done this before.
Okay,
Turn it over. There you go.
Here?
Oh.
No.
Here? Oh, I see.
There we go.
You know, the truth is I just used that for the first time too, so I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that had a problem with
Yay, I got it.
Awesome.
Tracy
Cut
may
to the
need to
last
assist.
drop.
Good,
Okay.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
Okay, Tracy, it's all yours.
Okay, so that's our first ingredient there. That's going to go in the shaker glass, and you've got some gin in front of you. So we can take this gin. You want to do about an ounce. So we use a measurer here. Measure 1 ounce in there. This is going to make 1 drink.
I'm way too good at this.
No, you did a great job.
We didn't need to teach you, did we?
You're very steady with that pour.
So we got our 2 ingredients in here now, and any gin will do. It doesn't need to be a certain type of gin, but any non-flavored gin will do.
Okay.
And then we're going to take some simple sugar.
Okay.
And we'll do about a half an ounce. So if you turn that guy over, which you might know,
smaller
that's going to be a
version.
half ounce right there. Now, simple sugar is really easy to make. You can do it on your own. Our simple syrup is a cup of water and 1 cup of sugar. And you just bring it to a boil and let it cool down, and then you've got your simple syrup. Okay. So then from there, not quite yet with the passion wheat, but what we're going to do is
we get excited.
We're going to shake this up, okay? So Beth, I'm going to let you shake.
Okay.
Okay, now shake it real good. Nice.
It's like a song. It's real good. Stephanie, why did you walk away?
Just check, just in case. You've done this before too, I can tell.
Suncoast used version of cocktail.
Is that good?
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Good job. Okay, so what we're going to do now, and I'll do this here, just you can use this little device here, but that's a strainer, or you can do it the way, if you want to look fancy, and do it just like this, and pour the the concoction into your champagne flute.
Oh, look at that.
And so just because you got 2 cups going against each other, you kind of rock back and forth. The only important thing is that you don't get any ice cubes in there. That's all. So just a big enough gap for that. So we're going to go ahead and pour all of our juice in there.
So this is enough for 1 drink?
Correct.
And then you're going to top with your beer?
That's right. So normally you'd be using champagne.
What are you guys going to drink?
I've been here you guys trying to claim this first glass the whole episode. All right,
you better
cool.
keep shaking because there's 4 of us here.
I got you. We'll keep going. And if one of you ladies would like to just fill it up the passion wheat.
All right, well, Linda, start going to the next one.
All right, keep working.
Now you're all pros, so you're going to know exactly how to do
You got 3
this.
more to go here. All right, we are making a version JDub's French 75, we will call it here, and we are doing this in honor of a big event coming up on Sunday. You'll want to make sure and mark your calendars for a special Hurricane Irma help relief concert. It will be at JDub's Brewing all day Sunday. It starts at noon and goes into Sunday evening. 17 local musicians performing. You won't want to mix it, and JDub's will have beer, food, fun for the kids. It's a great family event. All right, Tracy, great to see you.
Thanks, ladies.
Great to have you here. Jeremy, great to see you. I love the idea with the beer cocktails. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view. And I kept the drink.